Joining us now is Sheiton Atigaren with stories trending around the world. Good morning, Sheiton.
Good morning, Doctor. One day away from Friday. Good morning, Adesua. Looking beautiful in green.
Thank you.
And of course, Rufai. Good morning.
Thank God it's Friday. Oh, sorry. It's one day away.
All right, then let's kick off what's trending in the U.S., where President-elect Joe Biden has appointed Funmi Olorunnipa Badejo as associate counsel. Funmi, prior to her new appointments, was general counsel at the House Select Committee on the Coronavirus crisis. Her government service includes serving as counsel for policy to the Assistant Attorney General in the Civil Division of the U.S. Department of Justice Ethics Council at the White House office, an attorney advisor at the Administrative Conference of the U.S. during the Obama-Biden administration. She's a graduate of the University of California, Berkeley School of Law, Harvard University's John F. Kennedy School of Government, and the University of Florida. She's the third Nigerian to be appointed into office by the incoming President Biden. You see, we have Nigerians that have what it takes, but they keep getting exported to, okay, she has lived in the U.S. for a very long time, but it's sad because these are people that could be back home, helping us with our policies as well and, just flying the Nigerian flag high. You're wearing a green today. Are you feeling very patriotic? What do you think?
Well, this may not be the Nigerian green, but it's green. I understand, what you're trying to say there. It's a bittersweet response for me as well, the fact that these are Nigerians that could have been doing great. But what we have also seen, happen is that Nigerians, given the environment, because that's very key, given the right environment, they excel beyond expectations, and that's what has happened. So it comes to me as no surprise. Again, statistics will show you that Nigerians are the most educated immigrants from sub-Saharan Africa in the U.S. So it's no surprise. Congratulations to her. Another shining light, shining example that Nigeria does have what it takes to have great leadership. We just need to get the right people in the right position. President-elect Biden, I think he also appreciates the fact that he needs to build a more equitable America, giving African Americans a fair share of the American dream. When you look at the selection of his team so far, it's
very diverse.
Diverse, maybe not balanced yet, but it's diverse, and that's a first step for America. Some people say to healing. Given the year that they've passed through, 2020, before the elections, we had the Black Lives Matter movement. Several killings of Black Americans again. So he appreciates that, he understands that, and he's taken a step towards that. And it's great, it's fantastic. As a Nigerian, I'm happy.
Definitely. Doctor?
Well, first it was Wale Adeyemo, appointed Deputy National Secretary, nominee. After that, we had Osareme Okolo, right?
Yes, from
That's her name, 26-year-old, who was appointed policy advisor in the COVID-19 response team of President-elect Biden. And now we have this lady, Olorunnipa Badejo, who has been named as an associate counsel to President-elect. She's going to be part of a 21-man team in the White House Legal Department, which will be led by White House counsel nominee Dana Ramos. And the objective is to put together a crisis-tested legal team that will support the Biden presidency. And part of the mandate that 21-man team led by Dana Ramos has been given is to focus strictly on the rule of law and to make sure that the law is applied under the Biden administration to serve the interests of justice and the interests of the people of America. President-elect Biden has also given that team a mandate to change the ethical orientation of the legal department in the White House. And this, I think, is an interesting development because you will recall that under President Trump, he had a long-running battle with counsel, with Attorney General, and at every point was trying to bend the rule of law to his own will. the signal that we have seen from President-elect Joe Biden is that that is not going to be the case under his presidency. And legitimately, we can feel very proud that a Nigerian has again been, headhunted, has been identified as a member of that strategic team that the Biden-Harris transition team has put together. And congratulations to our dad, Professor Zacchaeus Olorunnipa, who is in his own right a distinguished professor. But just a comment about these Nigerians that show up, because many of them will still show up. By the time the cabinet settles, you still see many more Nigerians, because Nigerians are everywhere, whether it's in the United States or in Europe. The point is well established that we're very talented people, we're very resourceful people, we're true diamonds. The only problem is that we have a problematic country that cannot provide a flowering space for our talents. So when we see many of our compatriots excelling elsewhere, that's why we think, whoa, how we wish that these persons had been given similar opportunities here. But I noted something in the profile of Mrs. Badejo. They wrote in the Biden-Harris transition team press release, originally from Florida. Maybe that's how she identifies. And many of these people that we celebrate, they identify themselves as Americans, not as Nigerians. But it's good to celebrate them because of the DNA connection that we have with them and the psychological excitement that it offers us, that this is originally by DNA a Nigerian who's doing well.
Yes.
But we would like to also see a situation where Nigeria becomes a space for the flowering of talent. And there are many, in this country, including present company, who, even given the opportunity, will touch the sky.
Oh, thank you so much, Doctor, for that. I loved it. Rufai, let's talk about this. The environment. I like what Edison said.
I mean, yeah, we all know the environment now. Dr. Abbas kept on using the word environment should help flowering of the talent. But our environment is like a weed to the talent of these people. And it's quite very shocking. It's a weed to the talent. And you know what a weed does to a flower? Sucks all the nutrient the flower is supposed to get. And we need to start making it count for ourselves. We need to make it a country where you don't have to go out before you can make it. Because everybody goes out. Look at everybody prominent from Akim Olajuwon to the like. Everybody has to go out before they can make it. We must make a lot of homegrown people. People have made it internally anyway. Where we give credit to them.
Rufai, sorry to interrupt you. We'll take a quick break and then we'll come back to you. We'll be right back. It's still the morning show. Welcome back to the morning show here on our News channel. We're still on stories trending from around the world with Sheiton Atigani. And before we went on break, Rufai, you were making a comment.
Thank you so much, Dr. Abbas. So I said, let's just make the country in such a way that people can truly achieve what they ought to achieve in the country. And it's not about their tribe or ethnicism or anything. But it's a great time to be alive. In fact, I was joking with somebody when I saw the story. I said Nigerians now should have their own Nigerian WhatsApp group in the Biden cabinet so that they can interact amongst each other. And Nigerians have done well all around the world. And Africans in general, I mean, just only the other day, even if you don't claim it, we'll claim it. Our brother, our South African brother, Elon Musk, became the world's richest man before he lost it anyway, but it's fine. But what is most important and instructive here is America's built their country out of nothing. The hands that built America, the likes of Vanderbilt and the likes, built America. Nigerians must build Nigeria out of nothing.
That's a good place to end it. Nigerians must build Nigeria. Now, moving on to our next story, investigative journalist Tobore Ovuorie has responded to Media Mogul Mo Abudu, insisting the 2020 Ebonylife film Oloture is an adaptation of her sex trafficking report. Ovuorie reacted to Mo Abudu's viral video debunking copyright infringement allegations. She addressed accusations made by the filmmaker, one of which includes claims that they had a cordial relationship that involved cash gifts. She also hinted on the involvement of her former employers, Premium Times, regarding their copyright ownership claims. Also reacting to Abudu's claims that they had a relationship prior to the release of Oloture, one that involved her gifting the journalist money for the burial of her deceased father, Ovuorie stated, "I sent messages out to all the contacts on my phone subsequently to inform them to please remember my family and I in prayers, including Auntie Mo, at the time before the release of Oloture. I have never asked her for money. Rather, she sent me a message to send my account details to send a token towards my dad's burial. I did, and subsequently she sent me 100,000 naira. My former editor at the Guardian newspaper, Mr. Fred Owawa, also sent me some money on hearing my dad had passed on. Several former bosses and colleagues and people I have never even met came through for me. I was and I am still very grateful to all of them. Having watched the video, I now begin to wonder, the 100,000 naira sent by Auntie Mo, was it more than a gift? Was it intended to buy my silence when the film would be released?" Now, the statement that she released yesterday, very long-winded statement, a lot of points there, but this really stood out for me because, she had, in her video, that's Mo Abudu had, insisted that there was already a cordial relationship. She didn't understand why, Tobore had come out to say that, it was her life story and the whole back and forth. And I think what's also really important to note in her statements as well is the fact that she was supposed to have gotten 5% of the proceedings from the film in cinema. But what happened in 2020 is, as we know, because of the pandemic, cinemas were shut down. So Oloture never went to cinema. It just went straight to Netflix. So there's that bone of contention where does she get the monies from the Netflix subscription? And, just the whole back and forth. It was very important for us to also tell Tobore's side of the story, to give a balanced view, and so people can make up their minds regarding it.
Fantastic. I mean, that's very right to do. What stood out for me was also paragraph 3 of that statement, where she said that this investigation had actually commenced prior to her employment by her erstwhile employer, Premium Times. So what's the consideration in that regard? Since the investigation had begun before she was employed, Premium Times employ her to say, so now, because it has, regardless of the fact that you had started this investigation before you joined our workspace, we still own the legal rights to this. So there are still some sketchy, understandings that needs to be made here. She's hot. You can tell that she's hot. She says this is a life story. Mo Abudu has also done the needful to come to tell her own side of the story. And it's now my word against your word, what happened, what did not happen. And I go back to my first reaction to all of this, when the story first broke, to say there's a relationship, some sort of relationship between the two parties. Can they go back to the table to ensure that this is resolved amicably? Someone is hurt, she says, is a life story. Someone has done a great movie to highlight, that social issue that is going on in our society. We should not spoil all of this because, someone wants compensation and wants to be regarded as, a journalist that she is and the work she has done. I think that it's reconciliation. And if that should fail, the courts are always there. I mean, she already spoke about getting her lawyers involved. She was asking for $5 million initially in that statement. So I guess the reconciliation table is where to go now.
Yes, Doctor.
Well, I think it's a good idea that you are giving Tobore Ovuorie the right of reply, because this is what this represents. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago that you played the tape from Mo Abudu? But my own position in this matter is that given all the issues that have been put on the table, I think that Mo Abudu should just summon the courage. And I think it will be a great contribution to the jurisprudence on copyright law or case law on copyright law in Nigeria if this matter were to be pressed to a legal conclusion. I mean, copyright is not a matter of sentiment. You are dealing with ownership and transmissibility, and these are issues that are based on facts and the law. So it's not enough for us to try to resolve it sentimentally, to say, oh, let them go to the negotiating table and then try to resolve the matter.
It's just an option.
To resolve what? What is there to resolve? We were told that there is a certain 5% that Tobore Ovuorie has been promised. If the matter were to be subjected to, the issues were to be subjected to legal tests, she may even discover at the end of the day that she's not entitled to even any percentage. Because, I mean, the position in some of the case law, there is a case called the Evans case, and the position of the judge there, Tomlin J., is that, look, copyright does not confer on you, does not become yours, simply because you are the primary subject material of a particular story, particularly with regard to cinematographic films. There must be clear evidence, right, that you were part of the production, that you made substantial contribution to it. Now, all of that, except there is a previous agreement. So was there an agreement between Mo Abudu and Tobore before the film was made? Did she herself contribute to the process of the production? What is the extent of her involvement in the production itself for her to be able to claim credit? Because in one of her paragraphs, she's trying to claim co-ownership. Okay, for you to claim ownership, what work did you put in? In another case, Donahue versus Allied Newspapers. Now, the judge ruled that the fact that your newspaper article formed the substance of a film production is no basis for you to say you have ownership rights over that particular material. So if the lawyers go to court, I hope she has, both of them will get good counsel. It will be an opportunity, for the court to explore all of these issues and to look at the state of the law. But my fear is that in this case, the plaintiff, which will be Tobore, she will not be able to sustain the action. So let them go to court. I mean, Mo Abudu should just summon the courage and say, okay, do what you want to do. Let's resolve it in the court of law. It will be a great contribution to case law in that regard.
Definitely. Rufai.
Dr. Abati, it is you, the elders, that say, if we say we should act the way we feel, a lot of things will get spoiled. And I believe in the precedence of elders a lot in African society. The matter has gotten like this. It's a very dicey one. Dr. Abati, I understand your point. Great. We should go to court, test it out in court, see how it goes. It will be great to jurisprudence. But also, when we weigh it across the balance, let's also look at relationships that will be destroyed. I know tempers are flaring now. I know Tobore is asking for $5 million. How much did even Mo Abudu make from the movie that she asked for $5 million? I know all of those ones are just one lawyer sitting somewhere trumping up everything, because lawyers too play a very dastardly role in all of this. I know tempers are flaring. A lot of people are angry. Mo too is angry now. But the truth has to be said. We need to find a way to resolve this. Yeah, Tobore still reels from post-traumatic stress disorder of what she went through. Because if you test it out, a lot of people will lose. She said she was doing the investigation before she came to Premium Times. Tobore, that's no excuse. As long as you publish it on Premium Times, it belongs to Premium Times. Let's not deceive ourselves. So tempers are rare. We will say many things that are on court. But please, I would like to follow what Adisuwa said on this. Let both of them meet without their lawyers and talk. Because what lawyers disrupt is worse off in most cases. Lawyers will come in with their hard-headedness because of what they're going to make from the case. And you said it rightly, Dr. Abati. Tobore can't sustain this legal bill. I've been in court for 3 years on a case. It's not easy to do a legal case in Nigeria. It's not easy to do a case. And when I factored in what I spent in 3 years, it was ×5 more than the money I was fighting for. So who loses in the end? And lawyers will edge you on because they know in the end they'll get a percentage from the case and they'll get a percentage from the win. So this is the time, please, I beg you, Mo. This is the time to probably call Tobore or Tobore call Mo. Both of you sit around this. Let's resolve this amicably. We are all fighting for one cause. which is stopping trafficking in persons in this country.
Thank you, Rufai.
Let the court not be defeated. Please, I beg. I'm begging both parties, please.
Well, on that note, we'll have to go. Thank you very much, Shaitan Atigare.
Thank you, Dr.
We look forward to seeing you tomorrow when we'll be able to say, thank God it's Friday.